Okay, so when it comes to getting lean, this might just be the most important recording you'll hear all year. So a little hint for you, don't skip it if you are yet to get super lean and have always struggled in reaching your goals. Okay, so here goes. Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, once said, "If we are what we repeatedly do, excellence then is not an act, but a habit." Now, I totally believe this to be true because I've used this exact philosophy to remind myself to do what's necessary daily, such as things like eating right and training hard, to get lean and stay lean for around 200 weeks now. Now, unfortunately, most people only do what's necessary for a few days or weeks at most, and then they quit on their fitness goals. I don't know if you can relate to that. Maybe you've joined the gym before, started training for a few weeks and you give up, or maybe you bought a book on fitness or weight loss or got some DVDs and stuff and you started training for a while and then it sort of just fell by the wayside. And most people that I speak to come up with a story as to why it happened. Maybe didn't have enough time or didn't have the energy or whatever. Now, what this leads to is that they end up basically never reaching their fitness goals and getting that lean, strong and energetic body they desire. So why exactly is this? Well, after many years of coaching clients in various settings and through my own personal practice, I've come to realize that there are some very important but often overlooked things that people need when it comes to reaching their goals. Their goals of having a lean, healthy, strong, energetic body so they can have more confidence, they can look better in their clothes, maybe in their photos on social media and stuff, and so they can have more energy as well, to spend time with their loved ones, their kids or grandkids or whatever. And this is why they fail. If they lack these particular qualities, this is why they fail, okay? So these are the qualities you actually need to have if you're going to succeed, right? So you need focus, you need structure, you need discipline, you need mindset, and you need accountability, okay? Focus, you need to have a clear focus of the direction which you're going. You need structure, something to keep you on the path so you don't deviate. Discipline, to actually do what you need to do so you can take those steps every single day in the right direction down the path. You need to have certain mindsets. So when you do find yourself hitting a hurdle or an obstacle, or metaphorically, you stumble and you fall over, you have the right mindset to get you back on your feet and you keep going. And you also need accountability because, especially in the beginning, most people don't have these particular attributes and qualities and virtues in place. They don't even know that they exist and that they need them. And because of the lack of them, they don't succeed. But with an accountability partner, with somebody who actually knows the way and is walking the walk, so to speak, they can then impart their wisdom onto the student, if you like, in order to get there. So this is what creates real success. See, most people left to their own devices tend to drift. They coast from one diet or fitness program to the next, never really committing to anything over the long term because they always end up chasing the next bright, shiny object and are then left wondering why they never reach their fitness goals. Okay, so just think about this for a moment. I want to give you an example, a metaphor to really drill this point home, okay? So it's like a person deciding that they want to grow an apple tree. Now, if you imagine, to grow an apple tree, maybe you don't know what to do. I personally wouldn't know what to do. So, maybe you'd want to go out and you'd maybe buy a book on gardening or whatever. And then you'd also go and need certain tools to get there. Maybe you need a shovel, maybe you need certain equipment or whatever. You'd also need things like seeds, and you need to have the right attitude and the long-term mindset to actually do the work of following the process, right? So then they get started. So they plant the seeds. They put them in the earth and they're really excited now. They think, yes, I'm going to have an apple tree and I'm going to get all the benefits of having this tree where I can have unlimited supply of apples for the rest of my life, right? So then they water the ground for a few days and they get all excited and they tell all their friends about this apple tree that's going to be coming soon. They turn the soil for a few days and then, because they don't see immediate payoff for their investment of time and their investment of money, most people then decide it doesn't work and they quit. A few weeks or a few months later, they then try to plant another tree or plant something totally different. Why? Because they think growing apple trees doesn't work. And they tend to rationalize to themselves that anyone who's achieved success with the same resources that they had must have been somehow cheating or gifted. They always blame the tools or some external factor. but they never blame themselves. And when it comes to fitness, that actually used to be me. Okay, so I'm guilty as charged. I'm not sort of trying to point the finger and say that I'm holier than thou. I used to be that guy. In fact, my sort of backstory is for many years I spent my time focusing on my career, working with businesses and coaching and consulting to businesses. And I basically was traveling up and down the country, and I'd get on a train to go and see a client, and I'd quickly pick up a cappuccino and a baguette or a sandwich or whatever, eat that on the road, and I wouldn't have a clue really what I was putting in my body. I was just eating more for the sake of curbing my hunger cravings. But I kept doing that for time after time after time, and this was actually giving me high energy, low energy, high energy, and I was getting all these spikes, and my weight was just basically going up. And eventually I got to the point where I just hated the way I looked in the mirror. My clothes were really tight, my trousers were really tight around my stomach and stuff, and I felt lethargic. I didn't have the energy that I wanted. I got family, young nieces and nephews and stuff, and I just felt like I wasn't being a very good role model to others. Even though I was focused on my career and working on that side, I was neglecting my body at the same time. And I realized that I had to stop making excuses. And it's basically, until we take responsibility and we realize that we are the problem, we'll always fail to see that we can actually also be the solution. So luckily, one day my mindset changed. Okay, so after doing the work with many different mentors, I actually went out and invested in mentors to work with me. By surrounding myself and immersing myself in these various mindsets, I started getting myself back into training. So I did a lot of study and personal development. Plus, I also held myself publicly accountable by sharing my journey via things like social media. I've since written a book on the topic as well. And by putting all this stuff out in the world, I'm exposing myself, making myself vulnerable to the world. And I have to live up to what I'm saying. A lot of people, they decide they want to get in shape, but they don't really tell anyone. It's like we won't say it to people that we're doing that, just in case we fail, and then we can save face, right? So a lot of this comes back to shame, not believing in ourselves. But the truth is, with the right structures, a book itself isn't going to give you a six-pack, okay? Protein powder isn't going to give you a six-pack. A gym membership isn't going to give you a six-pack, or a lean body, whatever it is you want to define as being lean. These are just tools and ingredients, but tools are not going to create your success. The success has to come from within yourself, and then you use the tools to enable you to get success maybe at a faster rate. As the late and great Stephen Covey said in his great book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, is that private victory precedes public victory. Private victory precedes public victory. So the victory comes from within ourselves. So when I actually did all this and I applied it, I was actually able to create real measurable results. And in doing all of that, I learned how to develop simple structures and disciplines that when I put them into action, actually helped me create the results I desired. So I actually was able to get really, really lean, did some traveling and stuff, gained a little bit of weight, came back, but I knew the formula now, and I was able to repeat that again, get really trim again. And essentially I'm able to manage my physique and my body now because I'm fully equipped, self-reliant, so to speak. But you have to go through these phases really of being dependent before you can be independent. Like a child who has to learn how to, read a language or whatever. They have to be taught how to do that. In an ideal world, they're being taught how to do that, so then eventually they can read for themselves and they don't need to teach any longer. But there's a phase where we have to be great students, to be able to master things, and then we can go on to the next phase, which is teaching others. Okay, so these disciplines, including habits and mindsets, have basically allowed me to transform my body and stay in great shape, even as I approach my 38th birthday this summer. So depending on when you're watching this, I might be 40 years of age or whatever. So the reason I say all this is not to impress you, but to really impress upon you the reality of why most people fail and so few people succeed. Because it's not easy to stay committed to one course. Okay? But you have to understand this one thing. It is so crucial. Whilst it is not easy, it is also not impossible. Okay? Whilst it's not easy, it's also not impossible. It's just reality is most people don't do the work. They think, this is going to be hard, so they label it as impossible in their mind. They don't even try in the first place, okay? So there's no such thing as, like overnight success with this stuff, but there are rituals and formulas, and thankfully there are actually lots of great books out there written on how to train, how to eat and stuff. The key thing, the hardest thing, is really just getting yourself to take the information and apply it. It's like picking up a book on another language. Somebody might pick up a book. I actually speak German, and I've actually in front of me now got a German dictionary. And the reality is this dictionary, I'm sure, is available online to many other people who'd want to learn German, for example. Or there are books on how to speak German, right? But the reality is, whilst you might have a book, getting yourself to sit down and put the time in to try and study and look up the words and practice and put the hours in of repetition, that's the hard part. Buying the book on Amazon, that's the easy part, right? The hard part is showing up and doing the work over and over, not blaming the weather, not blaming your diet or the food prices, not blaming your mentor, not blaming anyone else, but taking full responsibility, being a mature, grown adult in this area of your life, which is ultimately your health, which is ultimately probably the most important area, because without our health, we have nothing, right? So it's so important that we realize this fact that whilst it is going to be difficult, it's not impossible, especially with the right support. So if you want to be part of those few people that do succeed in getting lean, strong, and a healthy body, when most people will, let's face it, fail and keep wasting valuable time, valuable energy, and money, going around in circles, making up excuses, telling their friends why this book they've just bought didn't work, why this training program didn't work, why the supplements didn't work, whatever the case may be. But if you don't want to be part of that crowd, but you want to be part of the crowd that succeeds and has other people coming to you and saying, wow, you look amazing, where'd you get all this energy from, how have you done this, and essentially looking up to you, being inspired by you, then you have to embrace the practices and the habits that the few take on a daily basis. So you're more than welcome to go out and do this by yourself, but I'm assuming here, if you're listening to this, it's probably because you've tried in the past and failed, and there's no shame in that. At least you tried, right? But I want to try and help you here to actually succeed instead of going around failing again. Maybe there's elements and characteristics that you just can't see within yourself, and as a coach, it is my job to help bring those out of you, shine light on them, and show you what is actually necessary for you to be the best version of yourself and take the right actions. Okay, it's not going to be easy. Nobody said it's going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. Okay, so if you want some real support and accountability in creating these life-changing habits, then I implore you to head over to the link below and answer some very simple questions. I work by invitation and application only. I am looking to work with a handful of individuals and help them reach their goals of having a leaner, stronger, more energized and fit body. And if you are a good fit for the program, and I feel like we are good in working with each other, then I'd like to help you do so. So again, head over to the link below. The URL here is www.motivatedmuscle.com/coaching. That's www.motivatedmuscle.com/coaching. Head over there now. You've listened to this message. Maybe something that I've said in this message has planted a seed in your mind and you've realized, man, maybe I can do this. What you don't want to do, if your body is important to you, if your physique is important to you, if your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and all these great things, these great benefits that improve and grow with being in your best shape, if those things are important to you, and they should be important to us all because we only have one body, then I implore you to not click away and watch a different YouTube video and get distracted again, or to go and jump on some other website. Just answer the questions. Again, at least you've done your part. You've been proactive then. I've proactively put this message out to you, and you can proactively respond to me if you believe that this is the right thing for you. And then maybe we can have a conversation together and I can help you get to that destination that you've been trying to get to for so long. So, my name is Mo Mustafa, international fitness mindset coach, author and speaker. And I'll speak to you very soon. Take care.